These last couple of days, I've been trying to embrace just being still and being bored. And I'll get into why I've been doing that here in a second. So a few months ago, I was feeling very overly attached to just my online presence and my friends, and I feel like I just wasn't appreciating anything because with my disability, I'm stuck at home and I don't really have a whole lot to do other than be around the house because it's hard for me to get out. And I finally hit a breaking point where I just felt like I was just tired of being online all the time. I felt like I wasn't really appreciating my friends and my community, my streams. So I told myself, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a couple days away from the internet, just completely offline, in regards to interacting with people. The most I did around that time, I don't remember what I did, but I think I just stuck to YouTube pretty much. Maybe some Twitch, maybe watching some Twitch streams, but I didn't interact with people. So that was the first step. I was easing myself into it, and then I came back to the internet. I started to fall back into that breaking point again. So I was like, okay, let's take a longer break. So then I took a break for a week, and everything I remember doing from then was pretty much I just watched CityZilla's City Skylines videos, and I was reading Vagabond. And I'm sure I was doing some other stuff, but I don't think I was doing a whole lot online other than watching those YouTube videos. I was probably playing some games, maybe watching some movies or shows. Don't really remember exactly what else I was doing, but the main things that stuck out to me were Vagabond, City Skylines, and these delicious honey-breasted chicken nuggets that has literally nothing to do with anything. I just specifically remember eating those around that time. And then after I came back from that week-long break, I finally felt like I was able to appreciate everything about my online presence more, and I felt like my attachments to everything was much healthier. I'm not really gonna get deep into my mental health and self-care progress that I've gone through in these last few months. I more just want to talk about the being bored thing. So a few days ago and a few days around that, I'd been looking back on that week where I was away from the internet, and I was like, you know what? That was the most I've ever been at peace, at least in a long time, in many years. Everything was so simple. I was just watching very minimal things. I was interacting with nobody, and I was reading Vagabond, which was fucking beautiful. And I also remembered I was making a lot of progress on my novel and my other writing endeavors, which was huge for me. And lately, I've been missing making progress on my novel. I've been kind of stuck at this one point for a while. So finally, a couple days ago, I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to take another few days away, just be very minimal with the things that I do online. And I haven't gone quite as extreme as I did before, but I think I want to keep cutting things out and minimalizing more in order to find that sweet spot again. Another thing I forgot to mention that I did during that week was I did a lot of sitting outside. I specifically remember doing some drawing under my tree in the backyard. In these last few days, I've decided where I've had moments where I'm I feel the impulse to log on and be online and or just be at my computer. I've been you know what, I'm gonna go out on the back patio, and I'm just gonna sit out there and just take everything in, just think and just sit there and be bored. Didn't take my phone with me or nothing. I've done it a handful of times now over the last few days, and I actually really enjoyed it. There were times where I was I must have been out there for over 40 minutes, and I really did not care to go back inside for the majority of that time. I was honestly just enjoying just chilling and just being out there. And what I found in that stillness and just being bored is just it's just nice and simple. There's not really any crazy profound thing to say about my experience. It was just nice. It was just nice and peaceful. I didn't feel like I had any obligations, because to be honest, with my health right now, I really can't commit to a lot of things anyway. And it really is just nice to just take these days where I just do fucking nothing. I don't feel like I need to talk to anybody. I don't feel like I need to create something. And the beautiful thing is I've actually been getting my best ideas for my novel in a while, since I started having these moments where I just sit and be quiet more. I think I'm transitioning into the point now where when I feel like I need to do something, have some kind of form of stimulation, it's becoming my natural reaction to just be you know what? Let's do nothing for a little bit. Let's just think. let's just process things, because I can like I physically feel pain when I'm overstimulated and when there's too much going on in my mind. So it's a really, as annoying as it is, it's a really good indicator for when I need to slow down and just take things easy. Okay, so this is a huge spoiler for my novel, like huge spoiler, but I don't think anybody cares. And I don't think it's not gonna matter. Nobody who watches this video is gonna read my novel. But one of the best ideas that I came up with in these last few days, from spending more time just sitting and doing nothing, was I like accidentally found out a name for one of my characters. So if you've read Black Clover, you know how William has the soul of Patry inside of him, and he basically grew up with this other soul in him. I kind of want to do something similar with that with two of my characters. The character of Drake is the one who actually has like a physical form, and there's another character that I just randomly called him Brave. It's just like a name that came to mind. Both the names Drake and Brave randomly came to mind when I was writing these characters, and I just like randomly called him Brave. I was like, yeah, sure. I don't know if that'll stick or not. But then like I don't remember what thought process led me to this, but I converged on the idea that the reason that the other soul inside of Drake is named Brave is because Brave literally made Drake brave in some of his hardest moments in his childhood. Like, he gave him courage. So Drake named the other soul inside of him Brave. When I came up with that in my mind, I know nobody's gonna give a fuck about that, but to me that was like, holy fuck, that it made me feel like an accidental genius or something. The fact that I just randomly named him Brave, and then I accidentally came up with a reason for him to be called that. That's one of the reasons why I love just sitting still for like a long time now, throughout multiple points of the day, because if I can keep coming up with ideas like that, I don't care how it's received, my novel's gonna be a fucking banger in my eyes. And of course there does need to be a balance to all this. Like, obviously it's good to spend time with friends, like obviously like connecting with people is very important for your mental well-being, and I'm blessed to have people that are on a similar wavelength to me, people who I trust enough to just be myself around and not feel like I'm gonna be judged or like I'm wasting my time with these people, like people whose like relationships that I genuinely have a good time like cultivating. So they're absolutely a huge important part of my day-to-day life, but it's actually also very important to take my time away from them and spend time with myself, as if I were one of my own friends, right? So I've made a little more progress in my novel in these last few days. Aside from on Saturday when I want to log back on to Discord to watch some Avatar with my friends, I think I'm going to take a few more days after that to just spend with myself and my dog, of course, and just see what else I can discover by doing nothing. It's been really nice.